Before you start anything, make sure to disconnect the power. Next, make sure you shut off the water and then loosen the hot and cold water hoses. And you might want to have a towel handy because they have water in them. Next, you can remove all of the machine screws that hold the back of the washing machine on. Be careful because that stamped metal is like a razor blade and it is guaranteed to draw blood before your project is over.
You helping, buddy? You helping? Thank you. Thank you.
As you can see, I'm already bleeding. Now this is a tricky way to get the top off. I've seen various people use putty knives and hammers and wedges. Basically, once the back is loosened, it has to slide forward about 1/2 inch towards the front of the washer. And then once that is done, you can actually lift it up and lean it back on 2 little built-in hinges that will support it while you access the tub.
Oh, it's very sharp.
Oh, it is.
Incidentally, my wife got me this really cool gyroscopic nut driver for Father's Day. It's really handy when doing work like this. Once everything is loosened up and the front is slid forward just a little bit, you can tilt it back and lean it against something to access the tub. Using a small pick or a small flathead screwdriver, pop that little cap off and then loosen the nut that holds the wash basket plate in place. I was going to tip the washing machine over on its back to work on it, so I had to remove the drain hose and the clips that hold it in place. This is the bottom of the washer. It's a direct drive motor, so it doesn't have any belts. It has an armature and a magnet, which is what this black thing is. Once you remove the bolt that holds it in place, you have to kind of wiggle it because there is a magnetic field holding it in place. There you can see the armature, and that's the clutch. There is a split ring that holds the clutch in place, but it's not like a conventional ring. It's kind of like a ring that is on a keychain that you have to pry a little piece up and then slide your keys around. So a pick will help to remove that, but when you put it back on, you need something to spread it apart, like some needle nose pliers. There are 6 screws that hold the armature in place, and once you've removed all of them, it just lifts off. There's also a quick connect clip that has some wires going to it that you can disconnect and move everything out of the way. The little bracket that I'm removing here has a ground wire on it and also a bracket that holds the clip in place, and it has a little ear that goes into a hole and then is secured with a bolt. And once that's done, you can remove the 4 bolts that hold the gear case, the large square silver thing, in place. That's what needs to be replaced and is making all the noise. Here I am using a small pick to remove that split ring, and once that's done, there's another part of the clutch that comes out, and it all comes apart as a unit. Now you have to disengage the gear case from the bottom of the wash tub, and it's more difficult than it seems.
All right, the hardest part so far has been getting that spline out. Everything says you can put a 2x4 on it and use a jack. I did that and I broke the 2x4 in half. Anyway, what I ended up doing was last night I sprayed some PT Blast, PB Blaster, or PT Blast as some people call it, and let it soak overnight. This morning I put a MAP gas torch on it for just a few seconds to get it warmed up, and then I used a steel rod and a sledgehammer and hammered down, and after about 5 hits it came out. So even though it looks like this type of thing unscrews, it doesn't. It's part of the tub. So now we can lift the tub out, see what it looks like, and then power wash it. I'll lift the tub out. It's got water in it, and the bottom is all full of, I guess, old soap or something, which did not help matters. So I'm going to take it outside and power wash it, and then clean the inside of the tub and put the gear case and everything back together. So I think it's dried soap.
It looks like it.
This bottom part of the tub is no longer usable. Fortunately, the 10-year warranty on the Maytag covers the tub and the motor, but that's it. So they sent me a new tub. After waiting a couple weeks, the new tub arrived, but it had a huge dent in the side. So I called them back and they sent me another tub after a few weeks. So this is what the new tub looks like, and this is what the bottom of it should look like before it was all rusted out from soap. The reason that everything failed was because there is a rubber boot that goes over top of the gear case that slides through the middle of the wash tub. That seal failed and it allowed water and soap and all sorts of stuff to get down in there. It made the bearings go bad, and it also rusted the spanner nut that holds everything in place, and I had to use a lot of effort to get that off. When I'm putting it back together, I'm using this stuff called Tef Gel, which is an anti-corrosion paste. That little jar is about $50, but it's really good for putting things back together if you ever want to get them apart again. And once I slide the new gear case into the bottom of the wash tub, then I just fasten the 4 bolts and it will pull it into place and make that seal pop through the other side. And then you just put the armature back on, and I would recommend marking the position of it when you take it off, because it is kind of directional. There's a little bit of a recess on the bottom of the wash plate, and when I initially put it on, it was off 90 degrees, so I had to reinstall it after rotating it 90 degrees. But had I marked it, it would have made that a lot easier. Next, I'm reinstalling the clutch on the bottom, and like I said, it has that split ring that you have to kind of pry apart to get it to slide over top of the spline. And there's a recess in the spline that it will pop into, and once it's in place, it won't come off. You can see this, it's not a very clear shot, but you can see the recess that's in the spline that the ring has to fit into. And this is what the clutch looks like when the retaining ring and spring are installed and pushed into that little recess. I just use a little pick to work it into place. Now it's time to reconnect the wires and put the armature and the magnet back over top of everything and fasten it into place. Here you can see what that little ground wire looks like and the little clip that holds everything in place. This is the original spanner nut that held the wash tub to the gear case. I ended up replacing it with a new one I got on Amazon because the old one was all chewed up because it was impossible to get off. I also replaced the wash plate that was on the bottom because it was corroded, and I also found a new one on Amazon and decided to put that one on instead since everything else was new. I also coated the threads of the spline with Tef Gel in case it ever needed to be removed again, because it was really difficult to get the old one off. So I made sure that I coated the threads of the spanner nut as well as the inside of the spline of the wash plate before I reinstalled them. Sorry the lighting is poor here, but it was hard to get light and a camera and my hands and the spanner nut all in there at the same time, but I think you get the idea. And then I used the spanner nut wrench to tighten everything up. Kind of one of those one-use tools, but well worth the money. Finally, put the wash plate back in the bottom of the basket, align the splines, and then use the bolt to fasten everything. Once you have everything in place, don't forget to put the little plastic cap back on. Keep it waterproof.
It's hungry, it shouldn't be coming.
The last thing to do is reattach the rear of the washing machine with all of the sheet metal screws, being careful not to lacerate yourself. And when you are done, connect everything back up to the water hoses as well as the electricity, and hopefully everything will work for you. As always, thank you for watching, and hopefully you learned something and saved some money along the way.